Welcome to Ngosti Talk Shows. Lead from within.
Find your own voice.
Challenges we have had to overcome in 2020.
Find your own voice.
The world has become united by the unseen, knowing there are no guarantees for tomorrow.
Lead from within.
Find your own voice.
Let the world hear your voice and be filled within.
For the day has come for you to be a great leader.
The time has come to break away from the pain, distraction, experience the unthinkable.
Find your own voice, lead from within. Over to you, Amanda. Please introduce yourself to our audience.
My name is Amandacottrell. I am a teacher, an author, and an illustrator, and I help people find their own unique creative capacities within themselves, and it is bright and early here in Canada. So good morning or good afternoon where you guys are, and that's me in a nutshell. Carolyn?
Yes, good. So it's good afternoon here. Good morning, yes, where you are, Amanda. And for me, it's afternoon in London, UK. And as the writing facilitator, what I do is I support soul-driven entrepreneurs in becoming more productive with their writing by connecting them with their deeper innate ability to write. But more importantly, they experience free-flowing writing. They experience an unlocking of the writer within and getting their book written. Because you cannot publish what isn't written. And all of this has come about through my own journey of unlocking the writer within.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Carol Ann and Amanda. So our topic today is how to survive the holidays. Holiday season can be a very, very stressful um, time for many reasons, and people traveling to see their families. And right now, during pandemic, every country has a different rules. So I can only imagine what people are going through. And some people are basically like those who are in red countries. Some people are stuck in red countries. They can't spend their time with their families. And that's another stress as well. So, but I would like to find out from Amanda, because you chose this topic, I would like to find out the story behind the topic.
Well, I chose this topic because I know that there's so many people out there where they feel like the holidays should be this joyous, wonderful time with your families, and for many, many people, that's not a reality. And so I know that we see an increase of suicide around the holidays. We see an increase of alcoholism around the holidays, and I know from my own experience in my life that the holidays aren't necessarily always this joyous, wonderful time that you see on TV. They kind of are sometimes a disaster. And so I picked the topic because I wanted people to know that it's okay if your holidays are a disaster, because you're not the only one. You're not the only one who has messed up families. You're not the only one who struggles with going to see their families. You're not the only one who may be alone on Christmas, and that's okay too. Who may be alone on Christmas Eve, or who may be alone on Christmas morning, and there are so many people around the world that don't have that traditional Christmas that you see necessarily on TV, or that the media portrays that you should be having. And so I picked the topic because I wanted people to see that we all have empathy for whatever it is that they're going through, and that that whatever your holidays look like, you, even if they're not exactly what you want them to be, you have the choice to wake up in the morning and try to make your day more positive, or or even just have a day where you lay in bed and cry all day, and that's okay too. Because your body knows what it needs, and maybe you just need a day to cry it all out. And because crying is actually really, really healthy. There's research based on that, where if you hold in all your emotions, it actually causes distress in your body, whereas if you can let those emotions go, it releases all of the toxins. And so don't be ashamed for crying ever if you're struggling, especially during the holidays. And yeah, so that's why I picked the topic. What are your thoughts on my topic, Caroline?
Interesting, because it's an interesting word, survive. You know, it's something that sounds like it's got to be survived, and maybe for some people that's how it does feel. And so therefore maybe it's a case of reframing. Is it something to be survived? And it's also what I picked up from what you were saying, is there's an expectation of what it should be like. And when we have expectations of how something should be, that's where we're open to being disappointed, because it doesn't always work out like that. And as you say, how it's portrayed in movies, in films, on the telly, and I know I watch a lot of them, and it's like, oh, they're all the same. There's this beautiful family traditions and love and communities coming together, and magic and miracles happening. And you think, oh, that isn't how it is here. And I know for me, I do reflect a lot at the moment, and I know my daughter does, around how Christmas used to be for me when I was growing up and when I had my children. And it hasn't been like that for a number of years now. It's completely different. I don't have the family around me that I did. The number of family. We don't do the things we used to do as a family. And it is different. And so the last few years I've had to say, look, we have to make it our own. How can we create it such that there is that, that joy? There is something special about it. And what actually is the theme of Christmas? What is Christmas actually all about? And it is about love. It's not about all the, what you can buy and all the presents and the amount of money that you can spend. And I've really brought it down to the basics of just creating something magical, whatever is magical for you. And so really it's being able to sit and reflect and go, well, what has made it something I feel like I've got to survive? What has happened maybe in the past that has created that story that I've told myself? And yes, at the moment we're going through some tough times, and what do I do? So what is the story you're telling yourself? Is it a story that is creating that stress and anxiety and dread because it's something you feel or think you've got to survive? Or is it a story that is helping you to move through it in a more joyous, loving way? And just, if it is the previous one, the first one, then rewrite the story. How could you rewrite it? Just breathe into it and really dive in and go, well, what is it that's here that's having me feel that I've got to survive this? And how can I address this? What can I do? Rather than sitting in, oh, nothing I can do. Poor me. There's always something you can do. But it's asking the right questions. So that's where I've sort of gone with this, and yeah, it is interesting. And I know it is difficult with some people. For a lot of people, and as you say, suicides and depression, it does increase. So how can we, support people and educate them such that there is that resilience, that bounce back ability, recognize where they're at and the story they're running, and transform it. So what about you, Namsa?
When it comes to the, you say, Amanda said some people might be struggling, and Carol Anna, you said the same as well, that some people might be going through difficult times at the moment, which is, it's really true, because we are all in different countries. We don't know what other countries are going through. Like right now, we are 1 week away from Christmas. On Saturday, will be 1 week away from Christmas. And some people are in the right countries, and some people, they might be on lockdown, we don't know. And some people are going through the struggles in their lives, and some people lost their loved ones as well through the pandemic, and they are facing Christmas alone. So Amanda was saying they are not alone, and Carol Anna said, yes, you are not alone, basically. And for those who are alone, I'm sure there are some families out there who love to spend time with those who are alone. There are some people basically who volunteer their time to bring a smile to somebody else. So you gonna have to go to the community. Mostly it's the local churches and local charities. They are really working hard to make sure that people, they're bringing smile to people's lives. And Carol Ann, you spoke about expectations during the holidays. What are the expectations of people? And you spoke about people should create their own joy. You are responsible basically to create your own life. How you want Christmas to look like, because we all have different beliefs. And for me, basically, I came out of Christmas celebrating Christmas last month. I was like, I still love Christmas, but I don't like anything that comes with it, because it's no longer Christmas anymore. I remember when I was young back home, Christmas was all about spending time with the family. And I came here, it was like all about spending time with family. And but as the years goes by, I just see it as it's just money. We have to spend money, like Christmas, buying Christmas presents and stuff. Like everyone is like, "What are you getting for Christmas?" So I'm like, I'm spending time with my family. And people seems to be shocked with my answer when I say Christmas, I'm spending time with my family, not really talking about the presents. And so I was like, I said, God, forgive me. I'm not sure how I should celebrate Christmas, but I think I need to celebrate eating chocolates, not worrying about my weight for once in my life, and not worrying about buying people presents, because to me, it doesn't make sense that I have to spend loads of money for one day. And then on the 27th, I'm broke. I have to be broke. Honestly, I have to spend all my money on the Christmas day, or for one day, the 25th. And then on the 26th, I have to be broke. So it does not make sense to me. I said to my children, you will continue celebrating Christmas, but I'm not going to go crazy anymore buying the presents and stuff, because it's just, they can get presents. The kids can get presents because it's the funny part of it for them. They don't understand it. So I said, you guys can continue getting presents, but I need to change my mindset that basically just ask myself, what is Christmas? Christmas is more to spend time with my family and just focus on loving my family and spending time with my family. And Carol Anna, you were talking about rewriting your own story. I'm rewriting my story when it comes to Christmas. So I'm rewriting my own story when it comes to Christmas. But I celebrate the new year. The new year for me basically is the whole year where God has kept me safe until basically the beginning of the year, that I look back and I'm like, this is what God has pulled me through the pandemic, and I'm entering another year and I'm alive. So for me, is the new year is really big. So I love celebrating the holidays. But at the same time, basically, if you are alone, like I said before, they are really like yesterday, there were people who were going in every, like houses. Basically, they have names of the people that they know they are alone. So they were basically delivering food. And in my church as well, they do the same. And this is another charity that was doing that, delivering food to people, and I had a chance to actually to have a chat with them. What they are doing, I think, is an amazing work. And that there are some people as well. Some people deliver food. That's how they bring a smile to other people. Some people volunteer actually to bring a smile, to give someone some company, to spend time with those who are lonely. So we are not really lonely. We can be lonely if we want to, but we are not really, because if you go to your local church, they'll connect you, they'll send somebody to actually, or they'll invite you. Like my church, they invite people for Christmas dinners, and those who are alone, to say, come to my house and let us spend time with them. So we are not really alone. So you can't be alone if you really, really want to. And also you can define Christmas, what Christmas means to you as well. It's a holiday. So it's actually, um, and for those who like to spend time, basically just spend time giving a smile to somebody else, uh, if that's what people want to do. And those who want to buy presents, you can buy presents, because we all celebrate Christmas in so many ways, in different ways. Some people basically, Christmas time, it means spending money, giving gifts to people, or sometimes there's some wealthy people, they ship gifts to poor countries, which is an amazing for a child to actually open the box and find a gift. It's really, really amazing. So I think we celebrate holidays, but sometimes it can be really, really stressful. Really, really stressful, because I've seen it myself. Like if I'm not at home, we get invited to somebody else's house. You have to play by their rules. What time they eat dinner, and which is the time that we don't like. Basically, where we have to eat dinner by other people. Some people eat dinner early. Some people have dinner very late, a Christmas dinner, and so many things. But if you are the host for Christmas dinner, it's a very, very stressful time. But at the same time, you can make it less stressful by asking for help, because the people that are there, you're hosting, they are happy to help you. So instead of getting stressed and doing it all alone, just ask everybody to come in and just help us. When you somebody's cutting this, somebody's doing this, and you're having a conversation, the time just goes by. But if you are that person that says, like me, I used to say I can do it all, but then I realized my way doesn't work. So basically, if I'm cooking, somebody comes in, they can help. If they offer to help, I can never say no. You offer to help, you come to my house, even if you don't mean it. You ask, can I help you? Nomsa, do you need any help? I just give you some jobs to do. So it can be very stressful. How about you, Amanda?
I wanted to go back to what Carol Ann was saying about survival. That's the word, survive. How do you survive the holidays? And I think it's because some people really are in survival mode during the holidays. And it is a very, very stressful time. And then I was thinking about what you said, Nomza, about the presents. And one thing that my one girlfriend told me years ago was what her family does with the kids is something you want, something you need, something to wear, and something to read. And so they get 4 gifts. And I started doing that with my daughter. And she knows she's getting a book, she's getting something she wants, she's getting something she needs, and something to wear. And so that's always, and it's been like a really good way to not spend too much money too, but also to keep it like, I would buy her books anyways. I would buy her clothes anyways, so it's not really really making it a huge extra expense. And I think that that's a really good way to keep kids grounded as well, in the fact that Christmas isn't about gift giving, it's about being present, not presents. And so, and also, I know for me, like the family time is very, very stressful, so I've kind of taken a step away from that. But I've made my holidays, because I have 2 weeks off because I'm a teacher. We're gonna go visit a friend in Invermere and go skiing and spend some time in the mountains, and then we're gonna come back and it'll be Christmas, and we'll Ella's going to her dad's for a couple of days, and then her and I will have our own special little Christmas, just the two of us, and we'll go skating, and we'll probably ski the following week sometime. So we really just do some stuff, just me and her and my cat, because I've had to step away from those really stressful big family Christmases, because it just was filled with alcoholism and anxiety for me. And so I've had to take a step back and be like, nope, I'm just having quiet Christmases with just me and my daughter, on, even if it's not on the day, and I don't stress about big Christmas dinners. I don't eat meat anyway, so we just make something special that day. But yeah, I think that Christmas can be what you make it, and if you are alone, you can choose to spend time with friends, or choose to step away from those unhealthy family relationships, because just because they're family doesn't mean that it's necessarily a healthy situation for you. And I think that's something that so many people struggle with, and even I struggle with still at this point in time, where I know for years and years and years, even as a teenager, I would purposely work on Christmas Eve and on Boxing Day so I didn't have to spend time doing those family things, because they stressed me out. Because it was, yeah, it just wasn't a good space for me to be in. And so I've always kind of tried to take a step away. And I look back on that now as a teenager. I used to purposely work at the pool on Christmas Eve and Boxing Day so I could avoid being in that space, and I didn't recognize why until as an adult, even as a 40 years, like I'm 40 years old, as a 40-year-old, that's when I recognized why I always would do that. Even as a teenager, it wasn't conscious at that point in time, but definitely was a subconscious choice to just take a step away and to make sure that I was busy and being productive, so that I had a legitimate reason to not be in the chaos. Because as an introvert, I don't like chaos. I don't like big crowds. I prefer a calm, quiet space. And I know my one girlfriend, she invited me and my daughter for Christmas dinner on Christmas Day, and I said yes, and then she's like, haha, you're my buffer, so because I don't want to deal with my husband's family. And I just laughed. And I was like, that's fine. I get it. I get it. She's like, you're coming so that I don't have a mental breakdown. And I'm like, sounds good. So we're all trying to find ways to survive the holidays that in movies and everything we see as these like joyous times, but in reality, and when your reality isn't that joyous time, you sometimes question, like, is there something wrong with me? And I think way more people's reality is that it's not the most joyous time, that it is actually a stressful time for many, many people. But as Carol Ann said, you can choose to make it joyful by taking a step away if you need to and not feeling bad about it. By making your own memories, by doing things that you enjoy, by spending time with maybe just friends that don't stress you out and don't make you feel bad, um, and value who you truly are. Because I think that lots of people are alone, and alone in those feelings, of why do I feel this way about Christmas and about the holidays? Because I don't think you're alone. I don't think you're alone in those feelings of anxiety about the holiday season, because I think it's a lot more common than it's portrayed. Because I think there definitely is some of that anxiety. I know a number of people who stepped away from their traditional families and now have friend Christmases, and it's so much more relaxing and fun for them. And whereas Nomza, I know that your family is your focus, and my focus is my family as well. But my family in my world is me and my daughter and my cat. So family is what you define it as, and I think that friends can be your family as well. They're just not blood family, and that's okay, because sometimes they have your back more than anybody else in the world, and I think that's okay to embrace that. What are your thoughts, Caroline?
Absolutely. And it is what you make it. And what I'm hearing is that you're able to differentiate yourself from your family and start to know who you were, and be comfortable with that. And if you don't fit with what is going on in the family, it is being able to not be defined by it or by them, and not fall back into those patterns, but to stand up for yourself and separate out, or find a way of being there but not being there. You know, you needed that calm, quiet space. Well, if you're somebody that prefers that and it is chaotic in the family, there's too many people there, plan ahead. How can you find that space within, if you know it's going to be chaotic and it's not going to be, comfortable for you, maybe plan ahead. And where could you just go ahead, just take yourself out for a while, maybe just go out for a walk or something, or just have some escape plan. And which is what I heard you were saying, Amanda. In a way, it was an escape plan. Things that just happened, and it is a way of you looking after yourself. And it is about looking after yourself. But to be able to do that, you've got to know who you are. You've got to know what is comfortable for you, and be strong enough to stand up and say, no, this doesn't work for me. And be able to communicate that. But also it's maybe identifying, practice some gratitude, because the more you can be in that space of being grateful for what is there, what you do have, anything that you could say, I'm grateful for this. That shifts your whole thinking and the way you're feeling, and maybe the way you can then move within that situation. And it helps you to be in a much more healthy position yourself. So practicing gratitude, just each day, what am I grateful for? Or in a moment of, oh, I really don't like this, I can't cope with this, or whatever it is that's stressing you out, just say, what am I grateful for right now? And just shift that pattern of thinking, because it's taking it away from you going inwards and going out there. What are you grateful for? And so by shifting that, you can shift your pattern of how you're feeling. And it's the same with feeling lonely as well. You can feel lonely in a whole group of people, but you have a choice to feel lonely or not. Again, it comes down to choosing it or not. but it's identifying what's here. What is it that is at that deeper level of feeling lonely? And how can you address that? What could you do? And I mentioned before, things like emotional freedom technique, tapping, just to shift that emotion and just acknowledging what you're feeling rather than pushing it down and making it wrong. Acknowledge it, embrace it, accept it, and then find a strategy of shifting it. So tapping, just tapping and saying, I'm feeling lonely, just tap on the points, set up the script. You just start with saying, even though I feel lonely, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. You're just tapping here. And you just do that 3 times. And then you go round the points and just say feeling lonely, which is the corner of the eye. And then the side of the eye. Feel so lonely. Under the eye. And then under the nose. And just repeating, I feel lonely. And the chin, and then the collarbone, and then the top of the head. I feel lonely. And then just stop and then go, on a scale of 1 to 10, how lonely do I feel now? And notice, has that scale moved down? And notice what words you use. And then maybe do it again with the same words or different words, and again look at that scale. So there are techniques that you can use that can help you shift emotionally. And there are times when, in amongst everything that I've got going and living with family, I do feel lonely. I feel on my own. And I'm in that depth of really feeling sorry for myself. And I will just acknowledge it. I'll write about it. And then I will do either tapping or some other techniques that I've got to just lift myself back out of it again. And then I come to a place of, well, actually, I am not actually on my own. I've got all these friends that I could contact that are there for me, that I've completely forgotten. They just fade into the background when I'm in that space of, I'm feeling all alone. And so it is just being able to deal with that. And if you're not able to do that for yourself, reach out to one of us here. Just put a message on the chat show here, and we can pick it up and just get back in touch and support you, because you really do not need to go through this alone. And it is just finding different ways of moving through it, and you have a choice: stay stuck or move forward. So gratitude is a simple one, and I keep looking at the word gratitude. Practice gratitude on a daily basis. So, Namsa, what do you hear now?
Gratitude. Yes. I actually agree with you, Carol Anna, when it comes to gratitude, that if things are not working okay, you have to look back, because right now it's December. Look back how things have been and how many people you've lost and the things that makes you happy, the joyful times, because sometimes we tend to forget joyful times. When sadness comes, we forget the joy that we had, and we hold on to sadness during the holidays. And sometimes, holidays are special. That's why we call them holidays. If you know that you're not going to be happy spending time with your in-laws, just spend, if Christmas means a lot to you, spend time at home on your own with your own family. Like Amanda was saying, how she defines Christmas, how she defines family. family to her. It means it is her and her daughter and friends sometimes. Because sometimes there are friends that we have that they don't become friends anymore. They become part of our family. So like myself, I have good friends that I have. I don't see them as friends anymore. They are part of my environment. They are like my family to me. And in a way that I forget that basically we are not blood related because of the way they treat me. Basically, they are my sisters and brothers. Like it's like if I wanted something now, if I text them, they'll help me. Or if I'm sad, they'll give me that time, 5 minutes, to make sure that I'm okay. So it's like what my siblings will do. But my siblings, I'm close to my family as well. So they are in Africa, but I'm here in the UK. So just define what does holidays mean. There's no point in going to spend time with people that are gonna make you upset. Really, for me, I don't see a point. If you know that your in-laws are nightmares, why going to spend time with them? And also, if they're nightmares, maybe sometimes it's nice to be honest with them and say, I love to spend time with you, but you always make my life miserable. Sometimes people make your life miserable, not because they're doing it deliberately, it's because they don't know, they're not sure. And also, they've got things that they are dealing with. If you don't tell them, they're never going to know. Uh, like myself, I spend time with when I go to my in-laws, I know that I'm gonna have fun. I'm happy to go and I'm happy to go and spend time with them. I know we're gonna have fun and we're gonna eat food. No one upsets anyone on Christmas days. We have that rule in our family on birthdays. No one upset anyone. The Christmas holidays, no one upsets anyone. So basically, when we hang out, we just have fun. uh, leave those who are cooking stressful. My mother-in-law does not like anyone interfere when it comes to when she's cooking anyway. You can interfere by washing up, but she's happy. She loves cooking. So it is fine. So it's defining your family at Christmas, just like what Amanda was saying. Who do you like to spend time with? And so that you can be happy. And also, uh, like right now with the pandemic, I don't know. It's like Christmas is coming and the numbers have started going up. Like my daughter's school, it was so quiet for the whole time. But since it became closer, since last week, the numbers it's been going up even with the parents as well. They've been catching it. So I'm like, is it because of Christmas? Or I think it's winter as well, with the weather changing as well, because the weather is really damp outside. So maybe that is the case. So no one knows. We might end up not spending time with our families the way this pandemic is going. But I'm hoping that this year we'll spend Christmas with our families. And also, and because the talk shows, Kamal says that there are no guarantees for tomorrow. And Carol Anna was saying, if you are going through something, we are here, the coaches are here for you just to talk to them, because we know that in life there are no guarantees. So if you feel lonely and you want to have a chat with one of our coaches, please do get in touch, because it's the holiday times and there's so many things that are going on. Some people are really upset with this vaccine and stuff. I can see on WhatsApp, the groups that I'm in, that there's lots of mixed messages. People are angry. They want everyone, to agree with the vaccine and stuff. So maybe just reach out to other people, for those who are upset. And my family, my uncle was sending me a message a few days ago about the beast, that there's a beast in the vaccine. I was like, no idea what you're talking about. So I said to him, please don't listen to the media too much. I said to him, please don't listen to the media too much. Do some research with regards to vaccine and make a decision that you don't want to take it or you want to take it. But people are making things up. I don't know anything about all these beasts and stuff in the vaccine.
Oh, love it. Love how things get misconstrued or words get changed, and
I
it's someone's
know.
interpretation.
Tell me about it. You tell me about it. So that's why I'm saying it's very, very important sometimes not to listen to so many things. It's like I listen to Amanda because she has a point, like doing some research and stuff. I like people who are doing some research because they bring the facts, like they're able to tell you this is what is happening. But those who hear from the grapevine, those words get spread very, very quickly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so just try to, because the holidays it brings opportunities as well, because it's a time where we can all relax. And for me, a holiday is basically the time where I do not make excuses for eating chocolate. Honestly, I eat loads of chocolate, loads of mince pie, unapologetic, because I know within a few days the holiday is gonna be over and I wouldn't have to eat all that with my family. Just not having to think about getting up in the morning. Or, although I just have to plan things sometimes. Over to you, Amanda. Your alarm
I
made
like,
me jump.
pardon?
Your alarm made me jump.
I know. I turned the volume on because I thought of something to say about what you were saying about food, because I didn't even think about that. How to survive all of the food at Christmas. That is something that so many of us struggle with. How to survive all of this chocolate that's around, and
Or
just
Amanda, Christmas time for me is the time where I don't think about putting on weight or losing weight, because I run it every single day. It's time where I would lie down on the sofa and just eat as much chocolate as I want. I remember last year, because we were locked down, we couldn't go. We were happy to go and visit my in-laws. And then we got told it's lockdown. So we had a big chocolate box and we just sat and finished all. And their dad is like, what happened to the chocolate? We're like, we finished them.
well, I know there's chocolates in our staff room every single day, and I definitely have one every single day. But it wasn't something that I think about at Christmas, but it definitely is something that people who are struggling with their weight or who are trying to lose weight, it would definitely be something that would be on their conscience.
Yeah.
And I always think about it in portion sizes, because I've always been like a portion eater, and I didn't even realize some of the things that I did to make sure that I portioned my food properly. And when I lived with my aunt and uncle, when I was getting divorced, my aunt still says to this day she learned so much from living with me because on portion sizing, because she's like, instead of taking the whole bag of chips out of the fridge, you'd just take a little bowl and you'd have your little bowl of chips and that was it. And she's like, I never ever thought of doing that. I always would just take the bag and eat the whole bag. And she's like, now I do what you do. I just take a little bowl and that's it. And she said, same with chocolate. You always would have like one piece of chocolate every single day. And she's like, but before she's like, I would eat the whole box of chocolate, or I'd eat the whole bag of chips or the whole whatever. And she's like, now I've learned to portion size. And so I always think of it as like, don't deny yourself the like amazing food that's out there. Just portion what you're taking, and that might help. And I know that even portion sizing is hard for some people too, but that's always seemed to work for me. And it wasn't even something I was really that conscious of until my aunt pointed it out for me. And yeah, it's all about portions. Don't deny yourself the chocolate. But I think that's a really good point, because it wasn't even something in my consciousness when I was thinking of surviving the holidays. I was thinking of surviving family and surviving the
Survive
stressors and
food.
surviving and that's something that's on other people's mind, is surviving the food. That might be the most stressful piece of the holidays for them. And it wasn't even something that was in my consciousness when I picked the thing. So I'm so glad you said that, because that is definitely an important thing to consider. that I had never considered about the holidays, and it is something that's very, very stressful for some people, for sure. Is that food piece when they're trying their hardest, when they struggle with a food addiction or something like that. So yeah, I think that's really important, and thank you for that, because it wasn't even, now I have more empathy for people who are struggling with that, because it hadn't even crossed my mind.
Yeah, we've actually cut down on the amount of food that we have at Christmas now. It used to be crazy, and it spends so much money on so much food, and then it's like, why have we got all this?
Carol Ann,
So
you live in the UK. Tell me, Amanda, if I'm lying, this Carol Ann, if you go to Tesco's just closer to Christmas, is there any food left? The shops are empty. It's like if there's no tomorrow. People are buying like there's no tomorrow, honestly.
really, yeah,
Yeah. If you have never visited Tesco's near Christmas,
yeah. Oh yeah, the shops, yeah, trolleys full over. It's as
yeah,
if the shops are going to be shut and everything.
yeah,
Yeah, it is. It's crazy that what people just end up buying, and it's like they're stockpiling, and you're thinking it's for a few days.
yeah.
It is, yeah, it is crazy. So I certainly don't buy anywhere near what I used to buy. We've really cut down on what we're going to have. The one thing that my grandchildren have said they really want a lot of this year, so I've already bought the the sausages and the bacon, is for pigs in blankets. They said we want loads of pigs in blankets. I went, oh, okay then. So we'll do that.
What's
But
your traditional food, Amanda, for Christmas?
Well, it would be like turkey and potatoes and those sort of things. But I don't eat turkey, so mine, a big Christmas dinner would have like turkey and breads and salads and vegetables, and then like pies. But what Ella likes to have for breakfast is crepes, so we'll have crepes for breakfast. And then yeah, it just depends. Like we'll go for a turkey dinner at my friend's house, and um, my job is to bring dessert. I'm not much of a cook, so I always get the dessert or make a salad job, because I make good salads. But yeah, it definitely is like a big turkey dinner. What is your guys' traditional dinners?
yeah, so turkey stuffing, roast potatoes, parsnips, Brussels sprouts, pigs in blankets, and even though it's turkey, we do Yorkshire puddings as well.
Yeah, we don't eat turkey. We have chicken or lamb,
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
in the house they don't like turkey. I used to love it. My grandfather had he's got a farm, so we had loads of turkey. So I ate it once, and then I ate it there. It was different, and then when I came to this country, it's a bit dry. So that's why I don't like it. I'm not sure, or maybe it's because that side they eat it fresh and just cook it is different. They don't put it in the freezer. They just prepare it and then you eat it straight away.
Could be. I mean, we haven't had turkey for a couple of years now, and I don't think we are this year. We just have chicken because there's so much turkey usually left that you're
Yes.
making lots of different things afterwards, and which is what I always used to do, and it was fine. I'd curry it or I'd make a pie or something out of it. But yeah, so we're now having chicken, and we're getting a bit of duck as well because I do like duck. So yeah, we're just keeping it simple, keeping it small. We had
Yeah.
a roast chicken yesterday, and they were saying to them, well, this is your Christmas dinner. This is what we're going to be having for Christmas. And I think it was always made that Christmas dinner was something special, something different to what you would normally have. And you normally wouldn't have turkey, through the year. So I don't know, that's how it always seemed to be for me. That's why we had something different. But do you know what? It doesn't really matter. Doesn't have to. You can make it special in a different way. It's still a special meal,
Yeah.
you know. It's just how you're enjoying it, how you're being with it, and just get your crackers and pull your crackers, put your hats on, and it's about bringing laughter and humor into it. And I found a beautiful quote that says 3 phrases that sum up Christmas are peace on earth, goodwill to men, and batteries not included. I thought that was lovely because that's such a typical phrase that is now used at Christmas. But it's just bringing laughter into it and bringing music into it. So something else that you could help yourself to survive the holiday, whether you're on your own or whether you're with family or what, is maybe create yourself a playlist. Make yourself a playlist that you'd like to listen to through the holiday time that would help uplift you. Maybe make a couple of different playlists or something, that got different moods to them. But music is a great mood changer. So create a playlist, something that you enjoy, something that may help you to move around and maybe dance a bit, have a bit of fun, have a bit of laughter, and bring that into the spirit and the holiday time, because that will help you to then move through it. Rather than thinking, I'm surviving it, I'm moving through this and out the other side. And you can say, if you want to still use that word, I've survived, I've got through it, celebrate at the end of it. Don't just sort of come out of it and carry on. Celebrate. How did you get through that time that you thought was going to be difficult, was going to be horrible in some way? Maybe even picture it before you get there. Think about that celebration that you have survived, that you have got through. You've moved through it somehow. And what have you got out of that? Maybe what is it you found within yourself? But do celebrate at the end afterwards. You celebrate the occasion, but celebrate at the end. And but music, laughter, how can you bring that into what you're doing? A joy of the time, and something for me that I'm looking forward to. And I really, I'm excited. There's a present that I'm going to get before Christmas. It's not, I'm having it on the day, and it's like, I don't care. The present is, there's the fourth, the Matrix film is coming out, and this new one, The Matrix Resurrections, and I've seen some trailers, and I thought, I'd love to watch that on the day it actually comes out, which is the 22nd of December. And I've been talking with my 16-year-old granddaughter about it, and about the Matrix, the trilogy, because she hasn't seen any of it. And then she happened to say to me the other day, she said, "Oh, Nan, it's going to be at the cinema. It's coming out on the 22nd. And we were talking about it, and she said she would buy me a ticket to go. And I said, well, would you come with me? So she agreed. So she's bought tickets for us, and got the tickets for the 22nd of December to go and watch it. And for me, it's a beautiful present, because not only is she bought me the ticket, but she's going to come with me.
Yeah.
Have that company. And I said to her, that for me is a huge part of the present. You actually coming with me, So I'm excited, and I've already started that celebration of, and it's something that I wanted. So what is it that you'd like and want that you could create that would give you that buzz, that excitement? So create the time for yourself. Again, I go back to rewrite the story. write your own story of how this is going to be. And like Amanda's done, she's written, you know, I love the way you've rewritten your story and you've created this time for your family that is your family now and with friends. And you've created an enjoyable time in a way that you like and love, you know? So, yeah, just bring fun to it, bring enjoyment, and celebrate afterwards how you've managed to get through. What have you heard in that? Anybody?
Well, for me, I just love being in the mountains, so I'll spend as much time in the mountains as I possibly can over the holidays, and just being out in nature. And so for me, the holidays is about having time to spend in nature and having time to be out in the mountains that I might not always have. And whereas other people view it as time to spend with family and have all these big extravagant parties or whatever, I'm like, get me out to the mountains. Like on the first day where I'm taking Ella to this it's called Johnston's Canyon just outside of Banff, and we're gonna do this hike, and it's beautiful. There's like there'll be icicles hanging all the way through the canyon to these waterfalls. And then we're going to go to Invermere and skate on the lake out there and stay with my friend at her house, and then ski the next day, and yeah, and go spend time in the hot springs. And so yeah, it'll be a really fun time, but just being out in nature is what I'm looking forward to the most. And if you have that time, right, the time to spend doing what you actually want to do, and I want to spend it in nature as much as possible, because that's what Christmas is about to me, is having that time to spend in nature. That's about any holiday, is to me is having that time to be out in nature that I don't necessarily always have living in a city. So yeah, I'm excited for that, and that's how I'm going to bring joy to my holidays and enjoy every moment that I can.
Brilliant. Namsa?
Spending time with family. Just gonna
Yeah.
spend time with family, going to church and visiting family, and not being able to take children to their activities. I think that's what I'm looking forward to, not having to take them to school.
Yeah.
I'm really excited, and I like the idea of your granddaughter's present. Just going out the cinema, spending time with you. I think is an amazing. So it's an amazing gift. That is really beautiful. So yeah, I'm going to spend time with my family, and I told them I don't want present. I just want to spend time with them. Just buy loads of food and eat loads of food. I'm looking forward to eat loads of food as well, without having to worry. So I'm excited. Just spending time. I'm not sure if it's gonna be cold, but it looks like the weather we're gonna have a cold weather. And praying no lockdown as well. So I'm excited for the holidays that I don't have to work. I just work at home, so it's nice not being able to go out. Just work at home out. So I'm excited. Any words of encouragement, Amanda, before we leave?
I think that don't make your Christmas based on a holiday movie. Take your Christmas and don't feel bad about it. If anything, watch Home Alone and then feel good. Have you guys seen that like traditional? That's like a classic where the family's like crazy and they leave the kid at home. And I just love that movie so much because I'm like, yes, that is the chaos that I'm trying to avoid. But I think that yeah, watch some funny movies and enjoy sleeping in and get outside and enjoy nature and just find some time for yourself and find some time to spend with people who make you feel good about yourself. Don't waste your time with anybody who doesn't make you feel good about yourself.
I think that there's a couple of quotes I'd just like to to leave you with, and one of them follows on from what you were saying, Amanda. Anyway, Christmas gives us the opportunity to pause and reflect on the important things around us. So make use of that time. And that's by David Cameron. And then Oprah Winfrey, I love this quote: "Be thankful for what you have. You'll end up having more. If you concentrate on what you don't have, you will never, ever have enough." So what are you going to focus on? Namsa?
For me, basically, I agree with Carol Ann. Basically, focus. When it comes to focus, I'll say control what you can, and look forward. If things don't go your way, look forward to joyful times, because there will be joyful moments, even though things are not going the way they should be. Or if you are alone at Christmas, for those who lost their loved ones, look forward to joyful times, because because that you are on earth, you are still alive. That means that you still have a purpose to fulfill. So look forward to those joyful moments and just enjoy, have a good time. If you are lonely, get in touch with us, and to course the talk show will find a way to keep you some company, or to help you either way, wherever we can, or coaching. Either way, just get in touch. And I think we're done for today.
Yeah.
Live with grace, everyone, and God bless you.
God bless.